Record the recount.
This is going to take weeks. It's clearly a laborious process, and these are very careful folks here. We've got election officials, we've got observers, two from each, the Franklin and the Coleman campaign. This is more like bank tellers going through each vote rather than a kind of rushed process. This is a deliberative process. There are almost 3 million ballots that have to be counted by hand. Each ballot is looked at. There's a conversation about each ballot. Very detailed, very careful. It's going to be slow. It's going to take a while. Clearly, it's going to be weeks, maybe months, to go through the whole process. Certainly not days. Minnesota has a tradition of fair and very transparent elections. We're seeing it there. There's no rancor, no raised voices. It's more like the hushed vault of a bank than the kind of fracas that we saw in Florida or elsewhere. We can see people angry. No angry faces here. Quiet conversations about whether there's a clear intent to the voter, Franken, for Norm Coleman, or if it's undecided and needs to be passed along to the state council. I think it's quite possible that we're going to see quite a shift in terms of the vote count. Right now we've got about 250. At the moment we've got a 215 vote difference. At the moment, Norm Coleman has got a 215 vote advantage over Al Franken. That's a very small advantage. We could well see thousands of votes change during this process. 3, maybe 4,000 votes. As this process moves forward, we're going to have absentee ballots that I think will eventually get opened. There could well be a number of ballots that were not read by the optical scanners or were miscounted by hand. And there are a number of those ballots out there. When you look back at the 2000 and 2006 Senate races, you see a shift of about 3,000 or 4,000 ballots between the initial count on election day and the official results. The change so far was only about 500 in Minnesota. So it seems reasonable to expect we're going to see some change here. Senator Coleman could end up winning by a larger margin, or we could end up seeing this getting reversed with Al Franken with the lead, maybe not even in the hundreds, it could be in the thousands. Well, again, very, very close election. Kind of photo finish. So we're talking small numbers. We could well have a situation where the turnout was enormous. Almost 80% turnout on election day. People were frank counting the votes. That could explain why there's a bit more frenetic activity. Some of those ballots may be put aside. There's been a tremendous firestorm here in the campaigns. Election workers are not political people. They are down-home folks who are just doing their duty or their job. And they've gotten caught up with this. And they just decided during that period between the initial count and the official count, just pass this along. Let the regular process occur. It's quite possible that now that we've got a regular recount process, and with this level of scrutiny and oversight, that we're going to see a change from the initial vote count to the official vote count that's more in line with what we've seen in past years. It seems at least possible that some of the canvassers who were involved after election have been intimidated by the campaigns and have not made the kind of changes that are quite normal in the sort of elections. Minnesota has had a record turnout. Minnesota has had a record number of absentee ballots. Part of this is perhaps because the Obama campaign put so much emphasis on getting as many votes inside recorded before election day. We saw that with early voting. Minnesota is a little different because you have to have a reason for casting an absentee ballot. But nonetheless, we saw a record number of votes casting absentee ballots. A large number of absentee ballots were not open for several reasons. It may not have met the requirements in terms of regulation. But also, there were 6 different absentee ballots. And on election day, with that frenetic activity, with so many people quite possible that the election workers put aside ballots that really are valid ballots, but they simply had questions, didn't have time to get back. I think eventually the courts, the state canvassing board, will require election officials to open up valid, legally cast ballots, and that too change the outcome of this race. It's quite interesting. Here in Minnesota, we've got 34,000 ballots that were cast, reported for one of the races, but not the U.S. Senate race. So these could be folks who decided to abstain in a very negative, very nasty Senate race, or it could be situations where the intent of the voter in the U.S. Senate race was not picked up in the initial count. We're going to have to figure out what's going on with those voters, and this hand recount will get to the bottom of that story. Minnesota has a very clear rule of voter intent. Minnesota has a clear rule of voter intent. If there's any indication of what the voter wanted to do, the law says you count that as a vote. There's not a lot of ambiguity. It's not Florida in terms of figuring out voter intent. We also have an optical scan in most parts of the state and a written ballot. So it's pretty clear usually the intent of the voter. In other words, there's plenty of room for movement here in Minnesota. This is going to be one of those recounts. There'll be plenty of action along the way. You look at the recount process in Minnesota, it's created quite a political battle here in Minnesota between the campaigns, and obviously it's had tremendous implications in Washington for Democrats to try to get a 60-vote filibuster. But we should not confuse the political battle with the counting of ballots. Here in Minnesota, this is a very good process. We've got good voting set up. We've got the best election machines. We've got transparency. We've got lots of checks and balances at the city level, the county level, the state level. Even though this has started off as a bit of a firestorm, it could well end with Minnesota showing the country how it is you want a clean, fair, and transparent election. I am hopeful. It could be a nightmare, of course. It breaks down into acrimony, where you've got dueling claims. We do have a precedent in Minnesota law back some time ago, 1962 and 63, where a governor lost by less than 100 votes. He walked away. He was very disappointed. They said it was a fair process. The question is, in 2008, perhaps 2009, will the loser be able to walk away and say this was a fair political process? There's some hope for that, but of course, there is the danger that this could break down into acrimony over the process itself. Minnesota takes great pride in fair, clean elections. I think there's going to be some degree of want in this process, and a reluctance on both sides of the campaign to challenge the process itself. Obviously, no love lost between the Frank and the Coleman campaigns. But in terms of the legal process, we've got Democrats and Republicans involved. We've got a lot of nonpartisan people involved. I think the process itself stands a good chance of standing up to the scrutiny and not getting pulled into the bloodbath that could break out.
More complicated than that. Rankin? 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 Coleman? Rankin? 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 Franken?
Right.
Yeah, those are the ones that are done.
Okay, and this is the Franken contested by Coleman.
That is correct.
Starting to get a rhythm.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to scoop some things for you. I'll let the campaign people speak for
Okay.
themselves.
This appears to me. What are the grounds for the challenge?
Grounds for the challenge is the person identified themselves as beneficial by that.
Okay, that one
The
actually.
whole ballot's out.
That's the first one I've seen that actually might be an identifying mark.
Yeah, oh, that's.
Okay, so we got precinct 110.
Okay, 110.
And it's a vote for Franken. Oh, wrong one.
Wrong sheet. Okay.
It's a vote for Franken, challenged by Coleman. Identifying mark. I'm just going to set this aside here.
Okay.
All right. And here,
The challenge was on the necessary marks identifying.
I think those are
There,
stray
there.
marks on the ballot.
To the front too, please.
Yeah.
I looked at it as a senior citizen ballot.
Yeah, they were carrying their pen while they were walking over.
Well, these are as legal or
I agree. I'm just.
as some of the
I'm,
over there, right?
I agree with you. I think that most of these are not identifying marks, but if the challenge is not withdrawn, then I'll go ahead and.
We'll withdraw that.
Okay. Put that in the correct pile. But you're going to have to change your number on your
Right.
stack there.
Okay.
Okay, so this is
Let's,
here. I
why
need
don't
to
you
move
wait
your
until the
material
end?
so I
Okay.
can get.
Oh, wait until the end.
I'm going to make hash marks in this corner to keep track of things we've added,
Okay.
and then that's okay.
All right. Now, this is.
This one again is a mark and then it was X'd out. This one was marked and X'd out.
We'll keep that as like intent.
better
it go.
can.
This one's better.
Yeah, the,
Letting it go.
This
No,
one
we're
is
keeping that.
Right
I just
away.
gave her the reason.
That's what we tell all you judges in the field.
I know.
Throw those pens away.
I know. I'm gonna practice with this one.
What
What
was
you're
the
doing.
reason?
We are
I
contesting.
mean,
What was the reason that they're keeping it?
it was
short?
marked and it was Xed out.
Some of them
Now we got,
On this one, we have unnecessary marks like this. You begin to kind of identify them. And they got these tickles on them. So they're identifying marks.
I'm disagreeing, but if you want to keep the challenge.
Leave that for lack of intent.
lack.
Yeah, I agree. This is, clearly looks like a vote for Franken for me.
What was the challenge on it?
Challenge now. Yeah, I don't know why that was challenged. I agree. No, my partner did it.
Put that one back in
Okay,
there.
I need okay,
Oh,
because
sorry.
we only have one functional one
Won't it
right now.
mark it up?
No, I've given up on it.
Again, the same kind of thing here. It looks like identifying marks by those. Okay, hold on.
Keep it?
Yeah.
I lost track.
This is number.
We should put them up to see. Is this identifying marks?
Mm-hmm.
Cindy, you draw attention. I said you
Yeah,
draw
you're writing down
attention.
I know.
Everybody together, Cindy's here.
Who has the Franklin Challenge tracking sheet? Sure you're writing down the reasons why.
Oh, this one, the person marked here and they also marked there.
I say that's a stray mark,
Double
but
mark.
you guys want to keep that challenge?
Say it, keep it under intent. Overvote.
Which number is this?
This is 5.
Number 5 is in for you, okay?
Oops. I didn't think I was going to need a whole sheet of 30.
Better not use your last one. You can copy it again.
Same thing here again, identifying marks.
You get the purple pen.
They carried it in their pocket under the precinct.
That's the back one.
You didn't vote the back.
Back to the front again, please. I leave it because it's not consistent and the intent's not clear. You'll see a couple below where there's no mark.
110.
I'm sure you can move once I take out 100 votes.
Same thing here again, the vote, and then cross out the vote.
Just a sec. That's the back one. Good job.
You're withdrawing?
Yep.
Same here again, identifying marks.
That one looks like
Same voter.
I'd leave that one as intent because they're not consistent.
Oh, they voted with blood. Serious
Identifying
voters.
DNA.
This one is too
That's
because
charming.
it's not
We
marked
could find
again.
that guy.
I think we're,
Let's take a look.
I think we're okay with throwing that.
See if they wrote their name in blood.
All right, so that's withdrawal.
You get that one.
But you guys shouldn't be touching without plastic gloves.
Yeah.
You don't think sort quick is a protective barrier? Okay, so that's
No.
4.
So you're gonna add
Seven.
four
How
more?
many total?
Pardon me?
Is that four more to Coleman? I mean, to Franklin?
Yeah, we'll
Yes.
get to those.
Four more to
Okay,
Franklin?
so
Okay.
I want to make sure.
Four
He
more.
had four more
I need some staff.
from the.
Staff.
Judy!
You got to fill in the numbers. You need a form? Rob's got it.
I don't know.
This number recorded that there's 7.
Well,
Was it
Seven.
seven?
I should put that down.
Put that
I
on
think there
your
were more than that.
tally sheet.
Okay, so I'm
I got a bunch of challenge ballots here, and I just don't want to get things mixed up. So I would like
They
to
were
put
all
these in the envelope.
identifying marks. Oh, okay.
Okay, you have 7 challenged
7
by Coleman.
challenged by
Yeah, but
Coleman.
So Franken challenged by Coleman.
Some
One,
were
10.
X's and then marked out.
Forward back in here.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Yep.
can you do me a quick favor? Sure. Can you please very quickly just go through them and tell our tracker? Here, I'll write it in. Just very quickly what the reason.
Well, you're going to get your copy of it.
You're going to have copies of the ballots. That's right. We'll double check that later.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Thank
Copies
you.
of front and
All
back?
right, now.
That's the working one. Take that with
Okay,
you.
and I want to get this out
You
of
want
the
to
way.
switch to the other
You want me
side?
over there?
Yes, please, I'll just
Okay.
stand here.
Okay. You don't think you can move through all this?
So what file is this now?
This is the
Coleman challenge contested by
Hey, Tevon, can you go with her to escort ballots from the back real quick? Thank you.
I think this was the one that has a bunch of Mickey Mouses on the back. And 2, 4, 6, 7, and while we know that Mickey Mouse registered, it just seemed irregular, and so I wanted our attention drawn to it. Oh, actually, 8. So the challenge was that there were strange identifying marks, or I didn't know if that invalidated the ballot or not.
this, I cannot say that this invalidates this vote. Yeah,
I think we'll withdraw.
thank you. Okay.
Enough people voted for Mickey Mouse that it's
Okay.
impossible to follow.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't win. Okay,
Here,
now,
let's just keep them straight like
It's
this.
going to
Few people in
challenge
Florida
anyone who
voted.
doesn't win on the recount.
okay. Looks like a vote.
I'm going to go with intent and clear, inconsistent, and how they're following it out.
Okay, this is challenge ballot, then number 1.
This is number 1 for this side. And we're in 110 still. 1. Yes, because that would be all of them. Yeah, that's the good one. I don't know what I did.
Okay, now we can go to the next precinct.
Okay.
Now we can start a
So
new
you've got
precinct.
1 then in your other
Please roll.
column on your tally sheet? Oh, there it is.
You know, besides that part.
Okay.
Challenged by Franken. 110. 1.
You have to see.
Put them back in.
Fill out the other numbers, and then why don't you take that up to Judy?
The sheet up to Judy.
Yep, she'll
Okay.
record the numbers on her
can see
master
fine.
and put it up on the wall. And then when you come back,
So
you
they
can
have
put
it.
your ballots
They have it
in
right in
the envelopes, but don't seal them. Take them over to Danny's table, and she'll help put in the seals and certify.
There were 4 withdrawn challenges on behalf of Coleman.
I can see, okay.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Don't worry, I can see all right over there.
My hash marks.
What,
Thank you, Willie.
what are the totals?
Yes, 4, correct. So we have total 7.
You'll get the totals in a second, or you can watch as I write them
we'll-
down. Oh,
they'll do
for
is
Franken.
pack these.
Withdrawn. Sorry.
What?
They'll pack these ballots. up.
Coleman withdrawn was 1.
So then we'll get a
One
new
was
precinct
on and
and
one
start over
brought
again.
back in.
Right.
From
Okay?
Okay.
where the challenges occurred,
Right.
there are.
Joanne, how many
Yeah, they have all that information here now. They'll-
176.
Okay, so
176.
They'll hold all
I've never
that
been
in.
involved in recount, so
They'll hold those challenge ballots.
all right. So
Because again, they
but
copy
see, if
those
they're
Franken.
sitting, if they're sitting there, then you can
794.
challenge. Otherwise, you
But
get
I
to
can
tell
challenge
them.
over there too.
Oh, you can challenge it. I'm not saying. Oh,
hard
but
to
if you
use
want
that
to
kind of
change, you
Yeah,
just
you and I are
tell me.
together.
Okay, but you
Okay.
just tell me if you get tired of
then-
standing because I,
181.
Very good, no
181.
problem.
if you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
1. recount team initials.
Oops, I got
We
my
need to
copy
have-
on the table again. That's a no-no.
Her.
Joanne,
Tell
I
us
need you to
799.
initial right next to my tiny little initials.
here?
There. Yep.
No, it's 799.
Oh, that's the date, but I'll just write it.
Oh, I'm
It's
sorry.
fine.
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Date over that. That pen is just terrible.
isn't today's the 18th?
We're going to look at the paper.
This is all the Franken ballots recounted.
Do you want to use this?
Huh?
Should, black pen would work a lot easier out here. That's hard to even read.
I'll bring it up.
That is what they're turning in, right?
Any issues?
Yes.
We're good?
You can bring it up or you want me to bring it up?
We're good.
Nope.
No, we're not
We're
good.
not good.
What would you like to do?
All the Franken ballots recounted.
Okay.
All the way?
All the Franken ballots recounted.
Okay.
One up by 2. What's the certified vote to make sure the total is right?
This went up by 2.
Now, see,
Okay.
he has what we tell him.
Here's Cindy or Judy or...
Oh, I missed.
And,
This is other.
800,
794.
800.
How many challenges did we withdraw? Did we withdraw 4?
From which side? From
Holman withdrew 4.
Coleman withdrew 4.
Giving you the grand total of 7. Is that correct?
But the total of
So you want to recount it?
Yeah, it went up. So, yeah, I would.
Here we go.
We only count.
The Coleman recount.
So,
Comment?
Coleman
We
So there was
the
more
Coleman
originally
team
counted-
challenged 11 of the Franken.
Franken, okay, okay.
We counted 77 groups of 25 plus 5, and then 1 was returned in the process with Cindy, leading to 181.
181. Plus
182 plus the 1 challenge
That's
equals
182.
And one was counted again.
They don't have final vote from election day.
794 plus 7 is 801.
801, right? And then 799
We're counting.
is not.
This was the remainder file.
Can we get these out of the way now?
Currently, let's
I
just.
only care about, I only care about those.
Cindy's okay with that.
Can we use a black pen on that sheet? Yeah, you need it. It really doesn't. It works very good. Here. He's
Okay.
having a hard time reading that.
Here. I'll count each group of 25 onto the table here.
We have 4 people at this table. I mean, I just want to make sure we don't have more people at the table than
Well,
we need.
he and we don't.
Okay, yeah.
me too.
Self-police yourself. Pointing it out to the silver crown.
Should I put the count on the...
It's like 3-1. That's not so bad, right? remainder. Okay. Well, we'll count them and we'll add them. Okay. We're all going to count. We can do math later. Counting now, math later. I have returned to the same number.
Yep.
In the presence of many. Okay. Back it up.
Nice job.
Thank you.
See what happened is that the machine.
Oh, really?
Franken.
Good. Just checking.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Perfect check.
These remain challenged, and with good reason, both of them are
Okay,
not bad.
so then what I should do here is just maybe, since there's only two of them, just count them. One,
Yeah,
two,
you can count them
and then
put
mark
them
them
in
down.
on your tally sheet.
And then where do we? Yeah, good idea.
And then here's the one for you, home and contested by Franklin. Okay? Your summary sheet is on the floor here.
And
Here we go. Thank you.
okay, so these are contested.
All right, are we good here?
Just a minute here. These
Very
are
good.
contested.
Those are votes for Franken, challenged by Coleman.
Okay, these are ballots for Franken. Is
This
it
is
challenge?
Franken, challenged by Coleman. So it's in this column. You've got two.
Is it Franken? Challenged by.
Yes.
two of them, and this is precinct 19. All the way across there, it's 2.
Yep.
Good.
Good job.
Okay.
Allowed to take pictures of these,
You can take pictures, yes.
but it has a thing on it. Yep. It's easier.
Keep these all separate.
Yeah, what we'll do is I'll be putting them each, once you get marked on your log now, I'll take them and I'm going to put them in the envelope and mark them on.
Okay, so they're marked, so then
They're marked, you've got them on some of them. You done?
And this is the other one?
Go ahead.
I mean, Mr. Ritchie said this
Yeah,
is the whole thing
that's
about
fine. Okay.
transparency. Did he say that?
that'd be a good picture. No.
Have to do is Frank, what's going on is 1225.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Challenge brings
And we're going to count along with them.
to 1227, then looking at 1226.
Zach?
So we wonder if
What's the Coke can? Thank you. I thought you guys might want it.
I'd rather stand.
That's right. At least 6.
No, but I could use the shoulder rub.
I know.
This woman that keeps me going.
Yes.
Thank you.
Where did Cindy go?
But 200.
I have no contested, and I have numbers that match the machine.
Let's all just give a round of applause. Okay, so mark them on your tally sheet.
Put them down.
Put them down. When you get everything back in the envelopes, any envelopes that you don't use, just fold them and put it inside them. Take them over to Danny, or Ginny, I guess now, and she'll certify them.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right, 5-9. Way to go.
Well, I'm a member of the
Frankie because of the 2 challenge, but other than that, they all add up. So now what do we do?
Okay, now what you do is make sure you mark everything on your tally sheet. It's already marked. Okay, I'll take that and go. Yeah, you can initial that.
Count those again, just to be sure.
Oh, those 6.
Well, I was looking at the stat. You can just do it by lifting corners there. Just see how many 25 you got.
Oh, of the others? These are the all others.
2, 3, 4, 5.
That's 2.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's 9. 25. Would be
225 plus those 6.
Okay. 231. Just want the numbers to come out. That was the whole object of us being here, is to get the numbers.
Okay.
What?
And David?
Yes, please.
Did you challenge any Frankie? No. No, I didn't challenge any. We had a couple of question marks on the side, but they resolved.
Excuse me. Okay, I will go mark these, and you guys can put these back in the envelopes.
And these challenge ones we keep there.
Oh, the challenge ones I'll take. Yeah.
I don't think we need to talk about those because those are the
We
ones
already
we talked
did
about
these,
before.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll just need to lock them up. How about this for an idea so we can get done with this? One of you take these up to Judy, the other can start putting them in the envelopes. I'll go do this.
Yeah.
And,
What would you like to do?
I'll start packing them up.
Okay.
So they have to go and separated.
Yeah.
Head home.
He was the, whoever was going to contest for Frankie. Yeah. Oh, thank you. We're up for a team. Oh, Skip's sitting there.
Yeah.
We're all done.
We'll keep them all together. I'm gonna go see if Judy.
And just very quickly tell us who you are.
All right, I'm Cindy Reichert. I'm Elections Director for the City of Minneapolis.
Okay. And what have been your challenges today, and how did the process evolve to meet those challenges?
Well, we're really lucky in Minnesota that our election law is very standardized, very well scripted. It steps in a process that we need to follow. There were a few fits and starts, just coming to agreement with how we were going to deal with exceptions and things like that. But I think most of those are out of the way. So as we move forward through this recount, I think things will move much more quickly.
And can you talk about just what happened with, at some point you found out that you needed to look at if there was some personal initials or any kind of...
Oh, yeah, the voter identifying marks. Early in the morning, they decided that we needed to look at both sides of the ballot for identifying marks, which under Minnesota law, a voter can't write their name or initials on a ballot, which caused us to go back a little bit and go through the ballots we'd already not counted. We were still in the sorting stage, so it really didn't take much time at all to change our procedure for that.
And does that have any effect on mailed-in ballots? Because there was some discussion about that.
No, none whatsoever. None whatsoever. Okay.
And I guess my other question is what happened on the second table there with I won't say his name, but some screw up with duplicate ballots.
It wasn't a screw up. Not a screw up. There's been some instruction for us where there are duplicate ballots in the precincts. Oftentimes there are ballots which can't be read by the ballot counter. Those might be overseas voters whose ballot was emailed to them. They mail it back in the precincts on Election Day. Two judges at different political parties duplicate that onto a precinct ballot so that it can be fed into the machine. The instructions we received from the Secretary of State's office were that we were to count the original ballots and not the duplicate ballots, so we need to make a switch. So if they don't line up into matched pairs, we need to stop and decide what we're going to do, whether we're going to count those originals or the duplicates. And so we were just getting through the process.
And just, at this point, how many challenge ballots?
I'm not sure myself. Last time I looked, it was 23, but it's all posted on the board right back there.
Okay. And at the rate we're going here today, how long do you think for Minneapolis?
We're going to be here for many, many days. We are working the rest of this week, possibly Saturday. Monday, Tuesday next week, we'll all be taking off Wednesday through Sunday for the Thanksgiving holiday. We'll be back on Monday the 1st. We've got till the 5th, so we'll make an assessment before we break for holiday as to how many hours we'll work every day that last week, how many tables we'll set up, and et cetera.
That 5th, is that a hard date? Or just...
That is the date that the Secretary of State has asked us to be complete.
Right. Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Record the recount.